What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I am bringing you an update to my 60 card Scareclaw deck. Now this deck is absolutely insane. It's got a great synergy for being able to go first or second. It has the ability to utilize the adventure engine. It also has the ability to play a heck ton of board breakers as well as hand traps, so it can kind of adjust itself to the format. Not to mention its boss monster is absolutely insane. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. Starting off by diving into the profile, everything is pretty standard on the Scareclaw lineup. You're going to be maxing out on your right cards, your belongs, your astras, and of course your acros. All of these are basically your starters. These are the normal summons. The only one that will clash with the adventure package is of course your right card, but usually more times than not you don't want to use this effect when you normal summon it anyway. You want to save that for when you get to special summon it later on, because all of these have the same effect to be summoned to a adjacent zone that a Scareclaw link monster points to, which is absolutely insane. Then on top of that, of course, we do play the one Visas Starfrost. This can help you get into your Visas Astrolaud as well as some synchro plays for Baron de Fleur. Then for the cash tiers, we are playing triple Fenrir and 2 cash Scareclaw, for the pure fact that, of course, cash Scareclaw is a Scareclaw. It gives you that ability not only to provide you with another monster that can attack from defense, but also the ability to negate effects on the field, and Fenrir is just an insanely powerful boss monster. Now, as I said at the start of the video, this is a 60 card version. In a 40 card version, you could cut the cash tier Scareclaw down to 1, but I would say the rest of the ratios would stay the same. Carrying on with the rest of the Scareclaw cards, we'll start off with the spells. So you play 2 of the Primitive Planet Reichphobia, 2 of the Arrival, and 1 Defanging. I quite like Defanging as a very good option going second. That's the balance of this deck, which is why it can operate as a 60 card deck. Because you have that balance of going first and going second, it also means that you have the ability, should you want to main deck some of your go first options and go second options, as they are very easily searchable in the deck. Defanging gives you that ability to have a bit of non-target protection for your Scareclaw, Tri-Heart, and of course Light Hearts. And it also gives you that ability to start popping cards off the field as well, mainly off of the back of your Light Heart in the graveyard. Reichphobia at 2, in my opinion, is perfectly fine. Searching that all day with your Light Heart is incredibly consistent. And then, of course, having Arrival at 2, because it is not a hard once per turn, is insanely important. You can only use the effect to protect from the graveyard once per turn, or protect from destruction, but its Monster Reborn effect is not once per turn, which makes it insane. And then, of course, we do have the one Twin Saw. I really want this card to be getting a foil upgrade at some point. It is so good. As you tribute a Scareclaw monster, then target 2 cards your opponent controls, destroy them. And if you do, and you control Visas Starfrost, you get to banish those destroyed cards instead of sending them to the graveyard. Then if a Link 3 or higher monster is on the field, you get to banish this card from the graveyard for the rest of this turn. Neither player can activate the effects of Link monsters on the field. So straight away, it's a nice little one-turn skill drain or one-turn negation of a Link-based deck. So that's it for all the Scareclaw cards. I would say you'd probably play these ratios at standard. The only one you might not want to play in the 40 card version is the Defanging. You might want to side that in or just not play it at all. Moving on to the adventure package. Now, because you do not, or you do run into Nibiru quite a lot, but you need to use the effect of your normal summon monster, you can play the adventure package, which is absolutely insane. So being able to max out on this where at all possible gives you the best possible outcome. So as you can see, I am main decking the Illegal Knight and the Griffin Rider, because again, in a 60 card version, all of this is incredibly searchable. You've got an additional route to get to your Warrior Enchantress off of the back of the Foolish Burial, which can also serve by Foolish Burying a target for your Scareclaw Arrival or Visas Starfrost as well. On top of that, the fact that any one of either Right or Warrior Enchantress leads you to everything else here, you kind of burn through the rest of the engine, and the only card you want to recycle is your Wandering Griffin Rider or the Illegal Knight. More so the Griffin Rider, because you'll go back to the deck, whereas the Illegal Knight, you need to get it back from your opponent. But the idea is that you're being able to put a 2k token on the board, you're being able to protect from the Biru or any type of high level hand trap that might cause you an issue on your Scareclaw Link monsters, and then of course it's all very easily accessible from the rest of it. So that's it for the adventure package. Moving on to the hand trap. So this is where the deck can be allowed to go up to 60 cards. So we are playing triple Ash Blossom. Of course, this is the most generic hand trap around right now. It really does come down to your local environment whether you feel that this is as effective or not. But the hand trap lineup is entirely down to personal preference. So I went with triple Ash, double Nib, double Veiler, and double Ogre. But of course, these can be a mixture of anything you want. You can be playing Drolls. You can add in, make any of these 3 others if you wanted to. The only one that a lot of people question is the Ghost Ogre, and that's purely because it's an incredibly good card against like Mementos, but mainly it's also very good against the Centurions. It can be very good against the Pearlies because very few people actually expect the card. And then when you're looking at the other rogue matchups or just matchups in general, again, a lot of people are expecting Ash Blossom to happen. And we're in the same kind of state where a lot of people expect their card to be stopped by Veiler, Imperm, or a Ash and still have the monster on the board to continue playing. Whereas if you Ghost Ogre it, it causes more issues. For example, if you were to Ghost Ogre in this like deck example for now, the right card, yes, the right card would search out a Monster Reborn, but it still means that we need to burn that Monster Reborn they've just searched to bring it back to then go and do the Lightheart. The same thing can happen if you were to Ghost Ogre the Lightheart. It can cause a few issues, and that's where I feel that a lot of players get used to cards staying on the board, that even if they do resolve his effect, losing that monster on the board can actually cause them more issues than not getting the search in the first place. Carrying on with the hand traps, I'm playing 1 Magnamute, 1 Druid Swarm. This is basically like a DD Crow alternative, but gives you a monster on the board. I quite like how they work for me, but again, entirely down to personal preference. And then the best hand trap, of course, is Imperm because it doesn't trigger those pesky cards like Talents and Frosts. Then moving on to the generic spells for the entire deck as well. We're going to be looking at Triple Tactics Frost alongside Talents and its other targets being Dark Hole, Lightning Storm, and Reinforcement of the Army. You can very easily add a Harpy's Feather Duster in as well if you want to. It really does come down to what you have access to and your personal preference. As you can see straight away, this is like a mini 6-card engine, so you can very easily take it out if you're trying to work towards a 40-card engine, and then you would fine-tune your hand traps as well to kind of finish off the last little breakdown to keep it at 40 cards. The last cards that I do like to play is Book of Eclipse. Like in this deck right now, it's absolutely insane because not only can you set up piercing battle damage, you can set up multiple attacks and everything else off of the back of your Tri-Heart. So Book of Eclipse is such a great board breaker as well as such a great defender. I really do like it because you're able to even Book of Eclipse your own board and you don't really care as long as you've got your Tri-Heart on the board itself because you're still providing a nice little Baguska-esque effect off of the back of the Tri-Heart. The final 2 cards are Forbidden Droplet. Obviously, I probably do want it at free. I don't have a 3rd copy that matches. But yeah, it's entirely up to you. You can play 3 of that. You can play 3 Eclipses. It really doesn't matter. Moving on to the extra deck. The extra deck is pretty cookie cutter in my opinion for the way that the Scareclaw works. So you're playing, of course, triple of your boss monster Tri-Heart. You can play it 2 if you want to, but there has been times where I've cut it to 2 and then I'm like, damn, I really wish I had that 3rd one right now. So I'm sticking to 3 and the exact same with Lightheart. There's times where I'm like, okay, maybe I'll cut this down to 2 and I'm like, damn, I need it. What you also need to remember about Tri-Heart is it is not a hard once per turn to do its Revive from the Grave and Search effect. So if you're able to bring 2 back, so you use the first effect, bring 1 back from the graveyard, search another one, summon it down, link those off, Tri-Heart, go into a second Tri-Heart, just to try and get you into the monster you need, whether that be a Belong, whether that be for the piercing, the multiple attacks, or the attack stat increase. You can kind of cycle it around as you see fit. And then, of course, we've got the Yugioh, the Earth Charmer. You play a lot of Earth monsters, and Fenrir is in and around the format. So being able to revive your opponent's Fenrir and then search out your own Scareclaw cache can be invaluable. Cross Sheep, this is all a part of the combo where you summon out Visas Astrolabe to zone it points to, and then this can help you get into synchro plays as well. IP Masquerena followed up with a Link Spider. If you get in the Beard, you can link into Link Spider and then continue to make your plays as well. SP Little Knight, pretty self-explanatory on how good that card is. Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess. And then finishing off with your non-link monsters, you've got your 1 Visas Astrolabe, 1 Star Slayer, Typhoon, and then of course the 1 Baron de Fleur. Typhoon, again, I still feel it is a mini MVP. Yes, it might not be absolute necessity because of your Scareclaw Tri-Heart being 3k, so you'd never really want both of these on the board. But what I like about Typhoon is if your opponent is constantly stopping your stuff, all you need to do is get one monster to the board and you can upgrade it. So if they've constantly stopped you and you've only got 2 monsters on the board and you can't link climb any higher, rather than leaving yourself with like a link monster and an Astra or a Lightheart and an Astra or whatever, you can just rank straight up into the Sky Thunder, and then you can bounce a card and you've got a skill drain to last you for an entire turn until it comes back round to you, and then you can use the Sky Thunder plus the Astra and then whatever card you've got for turn to go into your Tri-Heart, and then that's when you're going to push your OTK plays as well. So that's it for the profile, pretty direct to the point. I really do like this deck. I love the way that it works. I love the OTK capabilities. I love the defensive go first capabilities as well. I do feel that it is a very fun deck, and it can be built on a budget. Like, you can cut out the Typhoon, you can cut out the SP if you want to. Obviously they do make the deck better, but it doesn't mean you have to play the deck that way. And also the adventure package isn't that expensive as it sees fit. And you can see that with the 60 card version, this is basically your extra 20 cards. This is all the hand traps, the board breakers and everything else, just because you work off of a very nice 1 card combo starter that when you're then adding into the adventure package, it becomes a 2 card combo starter. And then you add in hand traps, you still got the space to play it, which is why 60 card is not really the end of the world, in my opinion, for this particular deck. You can cut the adventure package out completely if you want to, but I do like the ability of being able to protect from stuff like Nibiru's and other kind of annoying hand traps that could kind of cause you an issue as you're trying to link climb higher. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Any questions at all, by all means, please put them in the comments down below. I will be more than happy to answer them, as absolutely always. So for now, like, comment, subscribe, share, stay safe, and of course, happy dueling.